Despair is a profound and painful emotional state that many people experience at some point in their lives. It can stem from personal failures, loss, isolation, or an overwhelming accumulation of hardships that seem unbearable. When trapped in despair, individuals often feel lost, directionless, and may even lose the will to live. However, those who have faced despair and overcome it often gain deeper insights into life. They learn how to rise after falling, rediscover the meaning of existence, and develop a stronger spirit. Their stories not only inspire, but also remind us that, no matter how difficult the circumstances, there is always a light at the end of the tunnel. Here are 5 valuable lessons from those who have battled despair and found their way forward. 1. Pain is temporary, but growth is permanent. When trapped in despair, it often feels as though the pain will last forever. Everything seems hopeless, and the future appears bleak. Negative thoughts surround us, making us feel lost and alone. However, those who have endured their darkest moments affirm that no matter how overwhelming the pain may seem, it is always temporary. No storm lasts forever, and even the longest night will eventually give way to the morning light. Life's hardships and struggles may cause deep suffering, but they also offer invaluable lessons that help us grow. When faced with pain, we are forced to reflect on ourselves, reevaluate our past choices, and learn to adapt to new circumstances. Often, these challenges become catalysts for change, pushing us to develop new perspectives and discover better paths forward. Emotional suffering, while painful and difficult to endure, is often the foundation for inner strength and resilience. Many who have battled despair and emerged on the other side look back and realize that their struggles made them wiser, more perceptive, and more compassionate. They develop a deeper understanding of others, a greater appreciation for peace, and a newfound gratitude for even the smallest moments of happiness. The most important thing when facing despair is to persist and remind yourself that no feeling lasts forever. Pain will eventually fade, wounds will heal, and even the darkest days are just a part of the journey. Though healing may take time, it is always possible. Trust yourself, hold on to hope, and keep moving forward, because there is always light waiting at the end of the tunnel. 2. Isolation worsens despair, connection heals. One of the most common responses to despair is withdrawing from the world, shutting oneself off from others. Many people choose isolation, believing that no one can truly understand the pain they are experiencing. They fear being judged, hurt even more, or simply lack the energy to open up. However, those who have walked through their darkest moments often realize that isolation only deepens their suffering. When we trap ourselves in our own thoughts, negative emotions tend to spiral, making it even harder to find a way out. One of the most powerful ways to ease emotional pain is to reach out to others. Whether it's a friend, a family member, a therapist, or a support group, opening up and expressing what weighs heavily on the mind can bring immense relief. Sometimes just knowing that someone cares and is willing to listen without judgment can reignite a sense of hope. Honest conversations help us see that we are not alone in our struggles and that others can relate to our pain in some way. Despair thrives in silence. When we suppress our emotions, they don't disappear. They build up and become even more overwhelming. Expressing emotions, whether through speaking, writing, or creative outlets like art and music, can help release the weight of suffering. Keeping a journal, painting, composing music, or simply putting thoughts into words can serve as a powerful tool for healing. When we allow ourselves to externalize our emotions, the burden becomes more manageable. Human connection is an incredibly powerful force. Sometimes, even a small act of kindness and embrace, an encouraging message, or a few heartfelt words can make a profound difference. These simple moments remind us that, no matter how difficult life may seem, we are never truly alone. There are always people who care, who are willing to help, and who can offer warmth and understanding if we allow ourselves to reach out and receive it. 3. Purpose is a lifeline in dark times. When people fall into despair, they often feel as though their sense of purpose has completely disappeared. Life starts to feel meaningless, and every day becomes a struggle to find a reason to keep going. The things that once brought joy or motivation may no longer hold the same significance, leaving them feeling lost and disconnected from the world around them. This loss of purpose can make despair even more overwhelming, as it creates a sense of emptiness that feels impossible to fill. However, those who have managed to rebuild their lives after experiencing deep despair often say that rediscovering a sense of purpose was a turning point in their journey toward healing. Purpose doesn't have to be something extraordinary or life-changing. It doesn't have to be about achieving great success or making a huge impact on the world. Sometimes it can be found in the smallest, simplest things: taking care of a pet, helping a friend, supporting a family member, or working toward a personal goal, no matter how small. Even the act of getting out of bed each day and showing up for oneself can be a step toward reclaiming a sense of meaning. Engaging in activities that bring even a slight sense of fulfillment can slowly help rebuild a connection to life. Whether it's pursuing a hobby, volunteering, learning something new, or simply setting small daily goals, these actions can create a sense of progress. The key is to start somewhere, even if it feels insignificant at first. Over time, these small moments of engagement can add up, gradually restoring a sense of purpose and motivation. Having a purpose gives direction, even when the path forward isn't entirely clear. It acts as a guiding force, helping to create movement rather than stagnation. And while healing is not a linear process, each small step forward helps to build momentum. The important thing is to keep going, even if it's just one step at a time. Because in the end, purpose, no matter how simple or small, has the power to reignite hope and lead the way toward a brighter future. 4. Self-compassion is essential for recovery. Many people who fall into despair are incredibly hard on themselves. They replay their past mistakes over and over, blaming themselves for every failure, every missed opportunity, and every perceived shortcoming. They become trapped in a cycle of self-criticism, convinced that they are unworthy of happiness, love, or even a fresh start. This harsh self-judgment only deepens their despair, making it even harder to move forward. However, one of the most profound lessons from those who have survived deep despair is the importance of self-compassion. Learning to be kind to oneself is not a sign of weakness, but an essential part of healing. When someone we love is struggling, we naturally offer them comfort, encouragement, and reassurance. Yet, when it comes to ourselves, we often refuse to extend that same kindness. We hold ourselves to impossibly high standards, believing that we must be flawless to deserve happiness. But the truth is, just like everyone else, we are human, imperfect, yet still worthy of love, forgiveness, and second chances. Practicing self-compassion means treating yourself the way you would treat a dear friend who is going through a difficult time. Imagine if a friend came to you feeling broken and full of regret. Would you harshly criticize them, or would you offer words of support? Would you tell them they are unworthy, or would you remind them that everyone makes mistakes and that they still deserve kindness? The way we speak to ourselves matters. When we replace self-criticism with understanding, we create space for healing. One of the most powerful aspects of self-compassion is learning to forgive ourselves. Holding on to guilt and shame from the past only weighs us down. No one is perfect, and mistakes are an inevitable part of life. Instead of using them as weapons against ourselves, we can view them as lessons, opportunities to grow and improve. Forgiving yourself doesn't mean ignoring your past actions. It means acknowledging them, taking responsibility, and then allowing yourself to move forward without carrying unnecessary pain. Healing begins with self-acceptance. It means recognizing that your worth is not defined by your past, your failures, or your darkest moments. You are not the sum of your mistakes. You are a constantly evolving person who is capable of growth and change. Learning to be gentle with yourself is a crucial step in rebuilding self-worth. When you choose self-compassion, you take the first step toward breaking free from despair. You remind yourself that you deserve patience, love, and understanding not just from others, but from yourself. True healing takes time, and self-compassion is a practice that must be nurtured. Some days will be harder than others, but every time you choose kindness over self-judgment, you are making progress. The more you practice self-compassion, the more you reinforce the idea that you are worthy not because of what you have or haven't done, but simply because you exist. And that realization can be the foundation for building a new, healthier, and more hopeful life. 5. Hope is a choice, even when it feels impossible. When consumed by despair, hope can feel unreachable. However, those who have emerged from darkness often say that hope isn't something that simply appears. It is something they had to choose, even when it felt impossible. Hope doesn't have to be grand. It can start with the belief that tomorrow might be slightly better than today. Small positive actions, going for a walk, creating something, or reaching out to someone, can reignite hope over time. Despair convinces people that nothing will ever change, but in reality, life is always changing. Holding on to even the smallest glimmer of hope can make all the difference. Final thoughts. Falling into despair is one of the most painful and isolating experiences a person can endure. It can feel as though the weight of suffering is unbearable, as if the darkness will never lift. When trapped in despair, hope can seem distant, and the thought of healing may feel impossible. However, those who have walked through the depths of despair and found their way forward share invaluable lessons that remind us that even in the darkest times, there is a path to healing. One of the most important truths to remember is that pain does not last forever. No matter how overwhelming it may seem at the moment, emotions are not permanent. Just as the seasons change, so too does our emotional landscape. What feels unbearable today may become more manageable tomorrow, next week, or next month. Even the longest night eventually gives way to dawn. While healing takes time and patience, it is always possible. Another crucial lesson is that connection is essential. When people fall into despair, they often isolate themselves, believing that no one will understand or that their pain is too heavy to share. But the truth is, human connection is one of the most powerful healing forces. Talking to someone, a trusted friend, family member, therapist, or support group, can make an enormous difference. Even the smallest act of kindness from another person can remind us that we are not alone in our struggles. Despair thrives in silence, but opening up, even in small ways, can break its hold. Finding a sense of purpose can also be a turning point. When despair sets in, life can feel meaningless, and motivation can disappear. But purpose does not have to be something grand or world-changing. It can be as simple as taking care of a pet, helping others, working toward a personal goal, or even just making it through one more day. Engaging in activities that bring a sense of fulfillment, no matter how small, can slowly rebuild meaning and direction. Purpose gives us something to hold on to, something to work toward, and even the tiniest steps forward can create momentum toward healing. Self-compassion is another vital part of recovery. Many people in despair are incredibly hard on themselves, blaming themselves for their pain, dwelling on past mistakes, and feeling unworthy of happiness. But one of the greatest lessons from those who have overcome despair is the importance of treating yourself with kindness. Imagine how you would comfort a close friend who is struggling now. Offer yourself that same level of understanding. No one is perfect, and everyone deserves forgiveness, love, and second chances. Learning to be gentle with yourself is a crucial step in rebuilding self-worth. Above all, hope is a choice. It may not always come naturally, and it may not be easy, but choosing to believe that healing is possible, even in the smallest way, can be the first step toward recovery. Hope does not mean ignoring pain or pretending that everything is fine. Rather, it is the belief that change is possible, that darkness does not last forever, and that even in the most difficult moments, there is a path forward. If you or someone you know is struggling, remember this: no matter how deep the despair, healing and hope are always within reach. It may take time, and the journey may not be linear, but every step forward, no matter how small, is a victor. You are not alone, and there are people who care, who understand, and who want to help. The road to healing begins with a single step, and as long as you keep moving forward, even at your own pace, the possibility of a brighter future remains.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.